Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lita babes. Good evening, Lita sisters. Good evening. How are we doing? I hope we are fine. I hope we are well and good. How was Monday? How was the class on Monday? I hope it was exciting. Did anyone try to, sketch some wireframes? I'm seeing someone say good evening, Lita Mama. Lita sisters, Lita darlings, good evening, good evening, good evening. So I hope, we were able to practice something throughout, yesterday. I hope you were able to pick up maybe one website and then you just say, oh, let me sketch something out from here, because the most painful part will be that you don't practice after you have learned something. So whether there is an assignment or there is no assignment, if you don't practice, you would not be perfect. So I'm sure that some of us would have tried to practice. You would have picked up maybe a website or a mobile application. You would have tried to sketch it out. You would have tried to, you know, try some things out. Yes. Oh, Reva Blessing, thank you very much. You tried it out. Yes, that's really, really good. That's awesome. The best is that you try out the things that you have learned here. That's how you become perfect. So you see your WhatsApp, you try to, design, you try to sketch out the way your WhatsApp is, or you try to sketch out the way YouTube is, or you try to sketch out the way Figma is. It's just beautiful like that. And we are going to do a bit of low fidelity wireframe recap. Then we go to practical. Today we are not looking at any slides. Today we are just going to be doing practicals, like we're just going to be drawing. So please, within the next few minutes, get your laptop ready. For people who are saying that they are trying to design on their phones, please, you can't use Figma on your phone. So please try to get your laptop ready so that you can follow as we move. Someone chatted me up on LinkedIn and showed me something she did, and I was absolutely pleased with it. I mean, because it's a start, the sky is your limit. The moment you can start, the moment you can get confidence to continue, you just discover that you want to keep at it. And the more you keep at it, the better you become. The better you become, the more people see your job. And the more people see your job, the more they get you to do jobs for them. So last week, I said last week, on Monday, we discussed sketching, and we did a whole lot on sketching. But today we are going to low fidelity wireframe. And we discussed that low fidelity wireframe is a skeletal, two-dimensional digital design that helps one visualize the look and functionality of the website or application, and it can be created on Figma seamlessly. So we also learned how to sketch on Figma using our pencil, but much more than that, you can also sketch on your book. So I did this on Tuesday. Since we were looking at Litafa, I don't know if you can see I don't know. Oh, please, if you can show my face, if you can show what I'm showing to the people. So I did this design. I drew this design on paper. I just did something like this on paper, and that is my own sketch. This is me trying to practicalize even what I taught. Yeah. So after doing this on paper, I screenshotted it and I kept it on Figma. And then from there, I can now decide to turn that paper design or that paper sketch into wireframe, which into low fidelity wireframe, which would actually come out better than it was on paper. So we also learned that, these are examples of low fidelity diagrams. We also learned that the importance of low fidelity wireframes is that it gives clarity to your design process. We learned that you can get feedback quickly from the stakeholders. We learned that you can document your design processes with low fidelity wireframe. We also learned that you can validate your design concepts with low fidelity wireframe. You can detect early functionality issues. So if your design has functionality issues, like you remember when we were designing on Monday? Yes, I remember that. Very, very clear example. You know, we were designing on Monday and I had drawn some things out, and I came back to us to see what was happening. And somebody said there was no button. That is functionality. So because I was just drawing, I forgot to even put a button, yes. And then somebody looked at that. So imagine that you are the designer, you had drawn something out for your low fidelity, of yes, you had drawn something out for your sketch, and you were showing your other designers, and somebody just says, oh, where is the button that will lead to the next page? And you discovered that there was no button. So quickly, you would just put the button where the button is supposed to be, and it would help your work, get better. You won't have to start designing from scratch again. You would just get into the art of, putting the right functionality in the right place at the right time without wasting time. You understand? So you can quickly detect early functionality issues. You can also prioritize functionality above aesthetic appeal. You can prioritize functionality above, for aesthetic appeal, we are looking at beauty, we are looking at finesse, we are looking at, oh, this design is so beautiful, this design is so awesome. But imagine if every one of us were skeletons. Nobody will be looking at, Esther is so fine, Esther is light in complexion, or Esther is caramel, or Esther is dark, or Esther is light white. Nobody would want to even look at the color because everybody has the same bone structure. You understand? Only that some people have bigger bones than the other. I mean, so nobody will be saying, no, this person is fine, this person is not fine. It's just your skeleton we are looking at. So we are not looking at the aesthetic appeal here. We are only looking at the functionality, how you can function, how this particular website can function, how this particular application can function. Now, your low fidelity wireframe would reduce design bias. So if somebody had a bias for pink, and then you are using a different color, excuse me, and you are using a different color, the person may feel like, oh, why not use pink? I really love pink. But because you are doing, you are just drawing in sketch, the person is not really looking at your colors. The person is just looking at functionality. So the design bias of the person does not even interact with the low fidelity diagram that you have. All what the person is looking at this point is functionality, and then it reduces your decision making time. Therefore, it saves design time. For example, that button we were looking for, or that button that we didn't put at the first instance, at the time we remembered where the button, you see that in my design I just brought down two other elements and then I fixed a button there. So that's simple. But if you had started the high fidelity, it would be a huge problem to start fixing a particular thing in a particular place. Maybe you would even need to redesign the whole concept, and that would take a whole lot of time. So those are the few importance of low fidelity wireframe. Now we went to how to create your low fidelity wireframe. And if you remember, we said you should use shapes to represent elements. For the sketch, we just used pencil. We just used pencil to draw, and then we use text. But with your low fidelity wireframe now, you use shapes to represent the elements, like rectangles and squares for images, lines or small heighted rectangles for text, or even text for text, yeah. Then navigations, etc. You can follow the pattern you have created during the sketch, and then you can add a placeholder for remembrance. You can also use generic labels or dummy text for your text if you don't want to use shapes or text and placeholders. Amadejoke, please ask your question. You can use arrows or lines to indicate the flow from one page to the other. You can add annotations, you can add notes, you can add explanations to provide additional context for your design. And then you do not use colors in low fidelity diagrams. what you do is you stick with gray colors, you stick with grays, so that you can reduce ambiguity, you can reduce design bias, you can reduce aesthetic appeal, and then you can focus on the functionality of your design. These are examples of low fidelity diagram, and we are moving straight to our work today. So please, technical, you can help me present our screen for low fidelity for our Figma today. While we are waiting, I think Adejoke said she had a question. Was it Adejoke? Yes, Adejoke. All right, she said, what's the difference between sketching on Figma and creating a lo-fi on Figma? Because you were confused when you were trying to attempt it. Now, the reason why I drew what I drew on Figma was because I could not show us the paper on pen design. So um what I did was to just, use, what do we call it now? To just use Figma to illustrate how you can sketch. Yes. So most of the time, what you do with sketching is you sketch on a paper with a pen or a pencil. Then you can screenshot or you can snap your work like you would see in my design. This is low fidelity wireframes, and you are welcome. So we are taking this out, and then just check this out now. So you can either do this, which means that you can draw what you want to create. You can draw that, and then you can take a picture of it and then put it on Figma. Or if you can use a pen tool, or if you can use a pencil on Figma like we achieved here. So like we achieved here, if you can use a pencil, you can just bring the frame, which is your phone frame, and then you can start, scribbling all of this with your pencil. Now, how do you get your pencil? Come to the lower part of your Figma, and then you would see all of these icons, all of these icon buttons. I call them icon buttons. So all of these icon buttons, you will see that. Now, on the place where you have pen, on the icon button where you have pen, just click on the drop down, and then you will see pencil. The moment you click on pencil, you can do whatever you want to do. You can write I. Okay, so I'm changing this to maybe like a black. Yes. So you can write I, and then you can say and then you can write great. That is because I am using a pencil. Yeah. So that's that. You can continue, you can just continue doing whatever you want to do. You can use it to draw, you can use it to write, you can use it. And when you are done, just come back to your icon button that has the arrow, click on it, and then the pencil is gone. So I want to delete all of this because I don't need it. Delete. I hope I've been able to answer Adejoke's question. Now, sketching is just using paper, pen for quick illustration, for quick notings of what you are thinking of doing. Yes. Now, you can, after you are done sketching, you can then convert your sketch to low fidelity wireframe. If you are done with sketching on paper, you can ask your maybe design lead. If you have a design lead, you can ask your design lead to please, you can ask your design lead to check what you have sketched. And after the person has checked what you have sketched, you can now say, okay, are there any changes? So the person makes the normal necessary changes that he's supposed to make. And then when you are done making the changes and it's finalized, you can then go to Figma to create your low fidelity wireframe. Okay, I see that Adejoke understands this now. I see that Adeyemi also said that she understands what I'm saying. So that means that we are good to go. Now you see that I have screenshots. I don't know if it is screenshotted. Nobody should say I spoke wrong English. Oh. So I have a screenshot of some of the screens I just thought of while I was thinking of this class today. And I have the same screen we created for logo. I have the same thing we created for image. I have a screen where I created the login, and then I have another screen where I created for sign up. and I have another screen for the home page. You can see that at this point, it's not really sweet, it's not really clear, right? But the moment we start turning it into low fidelity, you would notice that, okay, it is beginning to come to life. And I'm using the pink background because, of course, we are using ladies in tech color. I don't like pink, but I'm using this background because of ladies in tech. So let's continue. Now, what do I want to do? I want to get my first screen as my low fidelity wireframe. So if you are following me, follow me as I follow Christ. So you get your frame, or you click on F. F is your shortcut to get frames. But if you want to know how to get your frames, just click on this hashtag, this thing that looks like an hashtag, this icon button that looks like an hashtag. Click on it, and then you can pick any of the phone frames you have here. So let me use an iPhone 8 because we started with an iPhone 8 on Monday. So I have an iPhone 8 here. Yes, and then you can see this logo, this particular logo is what I want to create. So I already have that picture in my head. Now, what I want to do is I want to start my design with what? Creating my layout grid, because your layout grid is one of the most important things you want to have in your design. So I've clicked on layout grid. If you are looking for your layout grid, scroll up on your right hand side, your right hand panel, just scroll up, you would see your layout grid at this lower part, and then you can create your grid. Look for columns. I'm using a count of 4. Let's keep this. Yes, let's use this color. Or if I still want to even do better, I can use the pink color and just give it an opacity of 8. Yes, if I'm too fast, I'm hoping I would quickly know. Then my gutter at 20 or 24, and then my margin also at 24. All right, so let me see if you guys are following me so that I'm not just talking to myself. Okay, so how did I change the background from black to pink? That's a very sweet question. In fact, I was waiting for that question. If nobody had asked me, I would have asked you guys. So first thing is, let's imagine that, let me put my screen at the color it was before. Oh, that's if I can even remember the color it was before. But look at what it is. I'm not clicking on any frame. I'm not clicking on anything on my design. So you would notice that there is a color at the right hand panel, page, written page here. So you have page here, and then you would see a color. So even if it was FFFF that was here, if this was the color of your background, you would notice this on that page. So just click on this place, and then you can give it whatsoever color that you have there. So let me get our color back. I don't know our color. So our color is 717 F177C0. So let me go back, paste it here, and that's our color. Yes. So that was how I was able to do that. Now, to achieve that same color on my iPhone, for my layout grid, yes. So this is what I'm doing. I've gone to my layout grid. I've changed from grid to column. Yes, I've given it a count of 4. I'm saying this again for people that didn't get it at the first time. So I'm giving it our same letter color, F177C0. And then I'm giving it an opacity of 8. That's transparency of 8. Yes. After doing that, I'm giving it a margin of 24, and then I'm giving it a gutter of 24. So margin 24, my gutter 24 as well. And then I'm closing it. I want to be sure that we are all on the same page. I want to be sure that we are on the same page. No, if you don't want to use an iPhone, you can use an Android phone. Please, if you don't want to use an iPhone, use an Android phone, okay? So if you want to use an Android phone, just get your frame. So far you can get your frame. This is Android large, this is Android small. So you can either use Android large or you can use an Android small, please. All right, so low fidelity, let's move. Now, we are just using gray colors. So We are not even going to be picking anything pink. We're just going to be designing white and black. And funny enough, this all these pink things we are doing now, these pink decorations, it will not show at the end of the design. No, it will not show at all. So we need a place for our status. We need a place. Now if you look at your phone, you can just hold your phone and look at the top part of your phone. You're going to see something called status, where you have like battery, where you have like your what do you call those things, your battery, your Wi-Fi. Yes, if you get a WhatsApp message, that place you would have the notification, all of those status thing at the top. Your time, where the time is, you want to be able to create a space for that. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to get a rectangle. Look for your shapes now. Look for your shapes, everybody. I'm even looking for my shape self. Where is shape here? Okay, I'm hoping this is it. This is not it. Sorry, give me a minute. Sometimes you come to Figma and then everything changes. All right, so I chose image before. So let me go back to, yes, shapes, rectangle. So go to your shape, everyone. Go to rectangle. That's the third icon tab at the lower part. Yes, so go to this place. And then I've chosen rectangle. What I chose was a rectangle. Okay, beautiful. Now, let me zoom in so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, from the top part, I'm just going to cover this whole top place. And then I'm going to make sure that the height of my rectangle is 40. So I'm going to make sure that the height of my rectangle is 40 so that it can cover the top region, the place I want to use for my status here. So that's that. Now, if peradventure you designed or you drew your rectangle and it is maybe starting like this, what you can do is you can align your rectangle. How do I align my rectangle? Come to your alignment section here. This is your alignment position. This position here, this place here, at your right hand side. Yes, alignment position. So you can position or align to the top. You see that my rectangle has gone to the top, and then align to whether the left or the right, or or the center. You can use any of these, any of these. Align right or align left or align center that you use will actually align it correctly. So I'm using align left, and then it has aligned my rectangle correctly. Can you see that? So I'm hoping that we are following me till this point. Who is asking me if we are using a phone or a system? Nope, nope, nope. You are using a system, please. You are using a system. Yes, Olaide Ojo, that is a status bar. Yes, you are very correct. You are very correct. So for people who think I'm slow, just reduce the timing of your reduce the timing of this YouTube to maybe like a 0.75 or a 0.5, so that I will be slow. You understand? So while I'm slow, you'll be able to get it correctly. You understand? So if I'm too fast, just reduce your own timing while others are able to follow, while I'm working fast because of time, so that we don't spend time just doing status bar. All right, somebody asked a question. The person said that, so you might need to rewatch. If you want to watch the grid again, just rewatch. You would see the grid there, and then you can always, I mentioned everything I did at the grid. I mentioned it twice, so you can rewatch and take it over slowly. Okay. Okay, so if your alignment tool is not highlighted, that is likely because you are not picking any element. So you have to pick an element. You have to pick an element like the rectangle, and it may not even be highlighted if, now watch this. You see that I have taken the rectangle that I created out of the frame. So now that the rectangle is out of the frame, you see that my rectangle is not picking the alignment, right? So what you need to do is you need to put the rectangle inside your phone frame, whatever frame it is. Immediately you do this, this is out of the frame, but wherever it is, just take it out of the frame and then bring it back into the frame, and then you will get the alignment. So I'm able to align to the top. This is aligning to the center. We don't want that. So align to the top, and then we have the status bar there already. I'm hoping that we've gotten that. Okay, someone says, how do I zoom? If you are using use Control and Plus. Control and Plus would help you zoom in. Control and Plus would help you zoom in. You can never ever use a phone for Figma. You can only use a system and maybe an iPad. So if you have an iPad, you can use an iPad. Nobody should say come again. No, if you want to watch it again, go back and watch it again. All right, so that we would, make use of our time judiciously. So you can also rename, yes. So instead of just having iPhone 8 minus 2 here, you can double click on the iPhone 8 or the Android or whatever you are using, and then just rename it as your splash screen. So that's your first screen. So you want to rename it as a splash screen. Yeah, and then click on enter. So now that we've done this, the next thing we want to do is we want to create like our logo, where our logo will be and how our logo would look like. Now this is what I want to do. I'm going to do something very, very simple. I'm going to get a circle, or instead of getting a circle, I'm just going to get my text. So this is my text. Okay, my text is at 120. I'm going to reduce the text size to, let's say, 40. Now, remember that I taught us to use the 8-grid system while we are working. So I'm using the 8-grid system, which means that I'm working with multiples of 8. Yeah. So if you have noticed everything I'm doing, you would have noticed that it is coming in multiples of 8. So now my font size here is 40. And then I'm going to use it to write logo in capital letter. Now that I've written this, I'm thinking like it's going to be, I'm thinking like this is big. So let me reduce this to a 24. Yes, that's good to go. And then I want to do something now. Please pay attention to what I'm going to do. I know that some people would teach you to maybe put a circle at the bottom because of what we did here. So to maybe put a circle at the back and then to bring logo to the front. But I want to start teaching you something that will make you dynamic in your design, something that would make you, design with finesse, something that the earlier you learn it, the better for you. And that is what they call auto layout in design. So with your logo here now, with the text you have written, logo, you want to bring in your auto layout. And how do you bring in your auto layout? Right click, yes, and then say add auto layout. But if you're looking for the shortcut, you can use Shift and A. So if you're not using Shift and A, you can just right click and then say add auto layout. And that's that. Now your auto layout has been added. You can decide to give the color of your auto layout maybe a fill color of this is your fill color here. This is your fill color here. I'm trying to go slow so that we don't miss it. So let me try this again. Let me Control Z everything I've done. All right, so I've written logo. This is logo written here. If you are there with me, that's good. So next thing I want to do is click on logo, right click, and then add auto layout. Yes, so add auto layout. And now that my auto layout is added, I want to give it a fill color. So this is me getting my fill color. Now changing my fill color to a gray color like this. So I've given it like a gray color. It doesn't have to be something crazy. It doesn't have to be something too much. Or I can even decide to make it a black color. I can decide to make it a black color while I make my logo a white color. So this is it. I've given my background a black color. Double click on my logo and then give my logo a bright color. So this is my logo's fill color. And then I can change it to white. So this is me just using my color palette. Yeah. So I'm changing the color to white now. Just moving it from black. This was black before. And then I'm taking it to white. That's simple. Yes. So that's good. So now that we have this, I think this is better. Now I want to increase the sides. I want my rectangle to have a square like format. So this is where I'm coming to my auto layout. Instead of manually tweaking it like this and like this, I don't like that. I like to I like to maybe use my spacing to adjust it, and then it would go, or to come to my x-axis and my y-axis and then give it something that is, unique, or to my height and my width. Yeah, my height and my width, sorry, not x-axis, y-axis. To my height and my width, and then give it something that is, unique. So my width here says it is 100. Let me be sure. Yes, so my width here says it is 100, and then my height is telling me 79. So I want to make my height 100 as well, so that it will give me a square shape. Let me stop there and let me see if we are following. No, you cannot. Okay, so you first need to click Giwa. You first need to click on the fill color. If you are not seeing the color, you first need to click. Now let's do this again. Let me write it again from somewhere. So this is my text. I'm writing logo, or I'm writing Giwa. This is me writing Giwa here, and then right click and get my auto layout. But you see that we are not seeing any color palette here already. There's no color palette, but you need to click on fill. So the moment you click on fill, this is your fill here. Click on fill, and then you can see the fill color. Yeah, I hope you were able to get that. So let me see again. No, 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 no. It's not really. So, Nene, it's not compulsory you use the latest iPhone. Reason being that sometimes the latest iPhone screens are wider than other screens. And in one of the, not really a principle, but a kind of hidden rule in design is to always design from the smallest to the biggest. You understand? From the smallest to the biggest. So you don't want to use the biggest phone frame to design. You probably want to use a minimal phone frame to design, and then you can now expand from there. Or you can use maybe the medium phone width size to design, and then you move from there. All right. So what auto layout does is that auto layout helps in, as the name implies, laying out your work automatically. Laying out your work automatically. That's an automatic kind of, arrangement, arranging your work automatically. If you have more than one or two elements, you can, use auto layout, and then it's the best. You understand? So let's keep going. Let's keep going. I hope I've been able to answer some of the questions I'm seeing here. Okay, I don't think there are any questions. I'm good to go. I like that. So let's delete Giwa's name from here. Okay, we have logo, and then we have like so also you want to create like a small space down here. You know that sometimes we have this, for some of us, both Android users and iPhone users, we have this dash, this small dash thing at the bottom of our screen. So let's create a space for that. Now what I will always do is, since I'm doing low fidelity here, I'll just duplicate. Now how do I duplicate? I'm not seeing duplicate here. So what I would normally do, permit me, I'm just going to use the shortcut for you. So Control and D will help you duplicate. Control D would help you duplicate. Anywhere you are, Control D would help you duplicate. So just click on this, Control D, I have duplicated it, and then I am bringing it. Now sometimes sef, I don't even need to drag. Sorry, give me a minute. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. All right, so I have duplicated this, but I don't want to drag it. I don't want to do what I just did before. So I'll just come to my alignment and then align bottom. Yes. So let's do it again. Let me delete this. I want to create a space at the bottom. So what I will just do is I'll click on the top status bar, duplicate it, Control D to duplicate. If you are using a MacBook, you would use Command D to duplicate. And now that I've duplicated, I'll just come to my alignment and then align to the bottom. You see that it immediately just came to the bottom. Now, what I can do is I can, reduce the height to maybe a 24. Reduce the height to a 24, align to the bottom so that it just stays at the bottom, and we are good to go. So I already have the space for my bottom guide, that's my bottom dash, and then my top, my top status bar, and then I have the logo as a square, but I'm not done yet. So I want to make it like really round. So what I'll just do is I'll look for the corner radius. This I'm seeing the new updates, so somehow I'm having to look for a whole lot of things, but I know I'll find it. A student of mine told me that yes, so everything is changed, so we have to start checking it out as if we are just beginners. So appearance is where you will find your corner radius, where I want to turn this square to a round shape. I'm sure when they gave you an introduction to Figma, they would have, shown you some of these things. So corner radius, I am changing my corner radius to, just let's give it 100, and you can see what happened. So let's do it again. Control Z. This was a square before. Now we want to like make it round so that it looks like what we are presenting. So where I'm going to now is my appearance, and then I am looking at this. So if you want to do individual padding, individual corners, independent corners, if you want to do one corner at a time, you can use what I just clicked on here. But since I'm not using that, since I want everything to just go round at the same time, I'm coming to my corner radius and I'm giving it 100%, and then we have this. I'm hoping we got that. How did I create the top bar? Rewind this video and watch how I created it again. Rewind the video and watch how I created it again. All right, so let's move. Now we have something we want to do, and this particular one, now we really have to use the circle, because look at the design we have here. We have like a loader here. I'm giving you people some kind of tips while designing already. So we have like a loader here, and that's what I want to achieve in my design as well. I want to bring in that loader to this page. So let me see if this is like, good to go. All right, let me see if it's at the center. Excuse me, please. All right, that's beautiful. Now let's say I want to create my loader. I'm coming to my shapes here, but this time around, I don't want my rectangle. What I want is my ellipse, my circle, my ellipse. So just click on ellipse and then bring it here. I know somebody would have said, so Esther, why didn't we use this? Like, this is just so simple and seamless. Don't worry about it. Now you see that you can actually move this one anywhere. You can move it without having to like click on logo, click on circle. So that's why this is beautiful for me, seamless for me as well. Now this is my circle, but I don't want it to just be 100, pixels like this. So I come to this, my right side panel, and then I constrain the proportion of my circle. So this is where I constrain the proportion. Now, what would happen if I constrain the proportion of my circle is that whatever I do to the height would affect my width. Whatever I do to the height of this circle would affect my width. Hold on. Don't let me constrain proportion and watch what I will do. I'm not constraining the proportion now. Everything is free. I want to change the width to a 20. This is what I get. Can you see that? But Control Z, if I constrain my proportion and then I change 1, which is my width, to 20, you will notice that my height itself also changed to 20. So that's what I'm trying to achieve, yes? So I don't want 20, I want maybe a 40. Yes, give me a 40 and that's good. So this is 40. Now I want to change this color from gray to maybe a dark shade. Yes, because I want to do something magical here. So this is our circle. I'm boldening it so that we can see what I want to do. Can you see this white dot here? This white dot. This is the only dot you need, to achieve some magic on this circle. Pick this dot and break it. How do I mean? Control Z. This particular dot, left click on the dot and drag it down. you have broken your circle. Left click on the dot and drag it down. You have broken your circle. Now pick the dot at the center and then expand it. Do something as if you are trying to expand the circle. Yes, good. Now after you've done that, try to close up the circle, and we've been able to achieve our loader. I hope somebody will not come for me now. I'm hoping somebody will not come for me now. Let me go back to the chat. Okay, so where did we pick? Someone, okay, hold on. Why didn't we pick the circle shape in the first place? I already explained that. Alowonle, Funke. I already explained the reason why we are not using circle. Auto layout makes your work easier. Okay, so Tosin says, can auto layout be added to other shapes from rectangles and squares? Of course, yes. Auto layouts can be added. Of course, yes. Of course, auto layouts can be added. So I hope we understand what we've just done, please. How did I get the dots? Okay, so I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to do this one more time so that we don't get confused. Yes, I will do this one more time. Okay, so let's do it again. This time around, hold on. This time around, this is it. Before you were on rectangle, so this is how your design would look like before. But this time around, you want a circle. So pick this drop down here beside the rectangle, click on it, and then you get your ellipse. Click on ellipse and then bring it into your frame. Yes, so you can even drag the ellipse there by yourself and say, this is what I want. Now if you have your ellipse like this, you discover that this is not a perfect circle. Yes, this is not a perfect circle. If you drag this, I always advise my students not to drag their circles. I always advise my students not to drag circles, not to create circles and do like this, or even rectangles, any shape whatsoever. Stop, don't bring and drag. Just pick that shape and then drop it into your design. So the moment you've dropped it into your design, get a perfect, shape size for it. And then what you want to do is you want to constrain the proportion. Come to layout, constrain proportion, and then I sized mine to 40 because I knew that would give me the perfect shape I want. Now let's try a smaller shape. So let me reduce this by, let me minus 16. That's 8 plus 8, 16. So I want to minus 16 from this, and then I have 24. So with 24 here, zoom in, and then you are seeing the arc. I said drag the arc down. Can you see it? So the moment I dragged the arc down, it already gave me an opening in my circle. Yes. Now come to the circle at the middle and then expand it. Do as if you are, coming to meet the edge. Just still left click. Do as if you are coming to meet the edge and just drag it. And then left click and close this up. That's what I said you should do. Now, the moment you have done this, you've been able to create your other circle, whatsoever this is. And then we can put it inside. We can decide that we want it to also be black, whatsoever color we want to give it. See your logo now. See your splash screen. Your splash screen is already set too. Your splash screen is already set too. Your splash screen is set. So now we are moving to the next phase. So for the next phase, what I would normally do is to just duplicate my splash screen. So I've duplicated my splash screen, and then I can delete, Control Z. I can delete all of what I've done here because I don't need them. What I need is I need my grid to be here, and I need my status and my bottom status bar. So I'm changing this to, what's the next screen we have? Yes, I'm changing this to my onboarding screen. So that's what I'm writing here now. Changing from splash to onboarding. So onboarding and enter. Beautiful. Now that we have this, come to this place and then you can notice that there's an image here. There is a line, broken line here. Then there is a text here, and then the onboarding circle here. So we start with the image. How do I bring in the image? I'll just bring in like a rectangle. So take me back to my rectangle, and then I will draw my rectangle to fill this place. Yes. So I've drawn my rectangle to fill this place. But I don't want my design to have like sharp, sharp edges, because the way I've started my design, I'm already seeing that if we have sharp edges in our design, it will feel too serious, which is another rule, or which is another hidden law in design. There is a way your design can speak. We're talking about the voice and the tone of design, and sometimes when you create a very serious edged design, your design looks too serious. But of course, you know that Esther likes to play a lot. So I'm not looking for a serious kind of thing in my design. What I'm looking for is a design that can make people happy, that can make people glad, that can make people, so amazed that, they are making use of my work. So let's see. I want to use 16 times 9. Do you know that all of these places, they can calculate? Yes, so they can do calculations as well. If you're confused as to how I'm doing this, I just calculated 16 times 9 here, and I was able to get 144. So this is it. And then of course, corner radius, corner radius, corner radius. I'm giving it a corner radius of 8, so that we'll not have like, like really serious edges. Now, because it's an image, you can do two things. You can either bring an icon that says image, or you can bring in a line. So first, I want to make this a dark color. Yes, I've given it a dark color. Next, I want to bring in my line. This is my line here. Drag my line from the top to the bottom side of this place. And then I'm hoping this is white. Yes, perfect. And then do the same thing for the other side to just show that an image is gonna be here. What are we saying, guys? I'm hoping I don't have to repeat this. I'm hoping I don't have to repeat this. This is giving, it's giving me, this is nice. All right, so this is the part for the image. Can you see that we almost have the same thing here? So we need like a very faint line to demarcate this, but let's leave the line. Let's bring in a text and then our circles. Now, I remember from the circle we discussed yesterday, we discussed that the circle is going to be getting from small to big, understand? Like the place that is active is going to be big, others are going to be small, and then it keeps moving like that. So I'm thinking that we should achieve that here. So let's bring in a text first. How do we bring in a text? You can either do any of the two things I'm going to do. Number one, you can bring in a rectangle, very small rectangle, and just put it here as your text. So you can put this as your text. Normally, I always give it a 24 by height, so that we would achieve this as, wow, why did I touch it? So that I would achieve this as my text, yeah? So this is it. Let's do this to, okay, 16. So I can keep this as my text, or I can do this, duplicate again, bring it down. Let's give it a spacing of 8, and then I can do this to just show that, okay, a text will be here. Or if I don't want to achieve this, there are plugins on Figma that you can use. Lorem Ipsum plugins. There are a lot of plugins that you can use. So I might be looking for one plugin. So plugins and widgets. How did I achieve this? I'm too fast. I know that. So you can either use this, or you can come to this place. This place where you have actions, multiple shapes. You have your square, you have your circle, then you have like a plus. You just click on it, and then you look at assets, you look at plugins and widgets. So you go to plugins and widgets, and then you can now search for Lore, Lore, Lore for Lorem Ipsum. Lore, that's what I really use. You can also use your Lorem Ipsum, but I like to use this Lore because it has a way of helping me fine tune whatever I really want. So I'm running it, and then it is asking me first to, type something, to just create like a text space. So I get my text in, and then I put my text here. Now, beautiful. It says, how much text do I want? Actually, I just want one sentence text. And so this is it. If you want two sentences, it will give you two. If you want, in fact, let's say I just want 5 words. So this is 5. And then instead of sentence, I want word. Let's make it 6. So I want 6 words, yeah? And then I can just click on add. And now I have 6 words here generated for me. See it here. And then I can just, constrain this, and I have my words. My words is aligned to the center. I can align it to the left, or I can align it to the center or to the right, anyone that works well for you. So you can either use this that we've done here, up here, this rectangle, or you can use this text, anyone that works well. I'm thinking, since I've done the text, let me delete this rectangle and let's bring this in. So let's check this out. I'm going to make it 16, or let's leave it at 8. All right. Let me check you guys out again. Which dot are you people looking for? Me, I'm just, where is the dot? What, Chiamaka, what dot are you looking for? Chiamaka, don't confuse me. Me, sef, I'm looking for dots. Oh. What dot are you looking for, please? All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going. Who said she cannot see layout on Figma? If you are looking for your layout on Figma, you have to click on the frame first. The moment you click on your frame, scroll down, you are going to see your layout grid. Layout grid, click on it, and then you can get your layouts. Okay, that's that. Now we have this. Beautiful. So let's look at it again. Now we have our onboarding, we have this onboarding thing here, onboarding circles. So this is what I would normally do. Of course, you know that I will get my ellipse again. So get my ellipse, bring it in, constraint proportion, and this time around, I'm going to give it a sizing of 8. A sizing of 8. The reason is because I don't want these circles to be too big. We discussed what's the word now? We discussed emphasis while we were designing, while we we're learning the principles of design. And in designing, I mean, this is like the least thing you want people's attention to go to. So you don't even want it to be too obvious like that, which is why I mostly use 8 for onboarding carousels like this, just 8. But if it has to be with a very big, maybe a very wide screen, I can use 16 for that. So let's say, yes, I already have 2. Now that I have these 2 elements, I'm just going to, select the 2 of them, highlight the 2 of them. How did I highlight it? I left click and then I drag, yeah, to highlight. And then, of course, right click and auto layout, add auto layout. Now my work becomes easier. This is it. Give me a spacing of 8 in my auto layout. Now select one of the circles in your auto layout and then Control D, Control D, Control D, duplicate. You see that now, because you are using auto layout, it's just helping you to duplicate seamlessly. I'm going to do it again. No, I know that some people will not get it, so I'm going to do it again so that we can get it. Now I want to put it at the middle of this design. So that's that. I'm thinking that this should be at the middle so that it makes our work, everything just looks centralized. Yeah, that's better. So let's see again. Now let me do it again. Some people may not get it. So we are getting our ellipse first. How did we get our ellipse? Come to this place on your shapes and then get your ellipse. Time is not even here with us again. Now this is your circle here. Constraint proportion. Change it to 8. Yes, and then excuse me. Duplicate. Bring that out. Yes, bring that out. Highlight the 2 of them. Right click and add auto layout. After doing that, select the second or any of the rectangles and then Control D, Control D, Control D. That was how I was able to achieve this. And that's the same thing I'm doing here. So let's delete this. And then now that we have this here, now that we have this here, I said that the first circle should look bigger. So let's increase this to a 16, or let's say to a 12. Let's do 12. I don't want to Allah. Then let's take this to like 10. Let's take this to like 10. Yes, I think that would work. Yes, 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 yes. Let's do, excuse me, please. Let's do 11. Okay, no, let's do 10. 10 is beautiful. All right, so let's do, this would be 8. Now this would be 6. Because, it's like going down, down, down. And then this would be 4. Excuse me, please. Ooh, this is it. Can you see that? Can we see this? I mean, this is looking like it. This is looking like it. Now the difference between this to this, let's make it 16. Yes, perfect. Perfecto. All right, so let's keep it at this. Let's leave it like this, okay? Now let's go back to our design and then let's check this out. Now you see that just under it, we have like a rectangle that kind of, does a curve kind of thing around it. But this time around, I'm not going to use, excuse me, I'm not going to use a rectangle. I'm going to use an auto layout. Before I do that, let me put these guys in a frame, because if we use an auto layout now, it could scatter our work. So I'm selecting everything in this picture. I'm right clicking and I'm framing the selection so that it can act as one. You understand? So this is acting as one now. So I can just select these three and then right click and then put it in auto layout. Beautiful. So now that it is in auto layout, I can come to this place here. Watch what I'm doing. I can come to my padding, individual padding. Yes, I think individual padding would work. So I can come to my individual padding. Probably for the bottom, I'll give it a 40. Okay, beautiful. Let's also see how we can increase this to the right and to the left. And things are supposed to be, okay, hold on. Oh, I see. It's supposed to hug content, not fixed width. All right, yes, perfect. This is good. So let me see. Let me continue doing what I'm doing. Okay, and then for the top, what's the distance between this to this? Okay, I think we should just leave it at 16 as well. So 16 up here. Okay, and then let's, make them merge. Yes. All right, so from what I've done so far, I'm just going to give this like a bottom layer curve. So you see independent corners. Now you understand why I'm using independent corners. So I'm using independent corners. The bottom, let's use 40 for the corner at the bottom left and at the bottom right. 40 as well at the bottom right. And then I'm giving it a stroke. Yes, let's use a stroke. Can you see what has just happened? So this is what I've just been able to do. So you can see that corner thing showed there. And we didn't want the corner to also like affect the top. Now, watch what I'm going to do again. Even with the stroke, I have a way of just making sure that my stroke affects just the bottom, the right, and the left, and it does not affect the top. So I can say customize this, or I can even say just do for bottom. Yes, so I think this works. So just do for bottom and then leave it like this. Perfect. This is sweet. I mean, this is still lo-fi that we are doing. No, if I'm too fast, you can go back to watch again and then you will see all the necessary steps that I've taken. Now, let's take the same process. The next process we are just going to do is to kind of create two buttons. Yeah, we are just going to create two buttons here. So somehow, I think I can still drag this to kind of like come down. Perfect. And then I think I can move this up so that the images can be, the image can be a bit bigger. Let me see this. All right, beautiful. So let's still work on this to come here. Let's still work on this line to come here. Perfecto, perfecto, perfect. I might be too fast, or you might think I'm too fast, but just take it a step at a time. When you take it a step at a time, it's going to become like really easy before you know it. Now, let me get a, so normally I would have created my buttons, but because, we're just learning for the first time, I'm going to be drawing my button from scratch. So this is me writing button here, and 20 using a 24 font size is too much for my button, so I'm going to reduce that to a 16. So my button is going to be 16 by size. That's my button font size. I probably would make it medium instead of just regular, to make it more obvious. And then from here I'm going to give it an auto layout. So I'm using auto layout for my button, so that's Shift A. You can of course use your right click. You can right click and then you'd achieve that as well. Now I'm manually bringing it to cover this my wireframe. Yeah, that's my layout. I just wanted to cover the layout but not go outside the layout. If you notice that my design has not gone into my margin since I started, except this line. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your design just stays in the layout that you have created for it. Also, if you are creating a button, you don't want to create a button that has an height below 40. So the least your height can be is 40. I advise that you move from 40 to 48 for your small buttons, while for your bigger buttons, you continue increasing the height. So this is my first button here, but of course, I need a fill color for it. So I'm giving it a fill color of, let's say, I want the first one to be black, which means that my button text is going to be white. And then of course corner radius, I'm going to use 8. Yes, so that we don't have a kwashiorkor design. Everything is having corner radius, so why do we have one that will not have corner radius? Now this second button is like my secondary button. It does not have to look like the first button. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the text black. The text goes back to being black, and then I'm removing the fill color of the button itself, but this time around I'm giving it a stroke. So that's my second button. Distance between two of them, probably let's make it 16, and then put the two of them again in an auto layout. Yes, watch what I'm going to do. Let me see this. I'm hoping that it is fixed, not fill. Yes, so I'm changing this to fixed width. Yes, and I'm also changing this to fixed width. I don't want to have to be manually changing it, so just stay at fixed width. And then now I can move my my design. So stay in the center, you come down here, you stay up here. Let's say I want this to be at the center. Okay, great. Now same thing, corner radius. What was the corner radius I used here? That was 40. So I'm going to use the same corner radius here, 40, and then I'm going to give it a stroke. So giving it a stroke, we are going to use only the top and nothing else. So we have this ready and good to go already for our onboarding screen. Why would you, Tosin, why would you want to go straight from your low fidelity, from your sketch? Why would you want to go from sketch to a high fidelity mockup? Sometimes you need to be able to see what you are doing digitally. You understand? I understand. Oh wow. So it's time for our break. It's time for our break. It's time for our break. So let's have our break. Let's have our break within the next few minutes. Please let's have our break. I'm sorry I was just designing. I didn't check the time. So let's have our break from now, and then when we come back, we'll continue. You can use that to quickly check back on what you have missed, and if you have any questions, let me know. Our break starts now. Figma will not respond on Figma will not respond on phone. Even if you use what are they calling it? This Nkotaba with Fogbologbongbo. It do not respond on phone. Maybe okay. All right. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Okay. So, how has it been so far? How has it been so far? I'm reading comments and I'm really laughing here. Yes, please, Roslyn, you need a laptop. You need a laptop to work this out. Yes, thank you, Adejoke, for showing us how we can, play this back. So you can always go back and, watch this again from the start. And it's very interesting that if you keep at this, you'll get better. Excuse me. So let's quickly continue so that we'll cover as much ground as we are supposed to cover, because all of these things that I've just done, these are the simple parts. We are still looking at coming to where you put your login and your sign up, and then even the home screen. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to do, even if it is the login and sign up, we'll be able to achieve that before the time is up today. So you would notice that I may just be faster, but please, you would bear with me. So what I've just done here, I used Control D, and then I was able to duplicate the screen. Of course, I'm deleting all of this that I've just designed for the onboarding, and then I'm changing this to login. Now there's a way I change the names of my screens, and that helps me when I'm maybe looking for a particular screen or I am looking for a particular thing. I always advise my students, in fact, not just to change the name of your screens alone, I advise them to change even the elements that they are designing. So for example, this is logo. You can just come to this place, double click, and then you can change this to logo. So that when you are looking for something, you're not going to be looking for ellipse. You understand? You would know what to look for. You probably call this loaders, or you would call this your you can call this a let's say you can call this your authentication button. So you can just call this your buttons, group of buttons. So you can say button group, so that when you are looking for something, you just know how to easily find them on Figma. Yeah. And that's that. You can call this status instead of just rectangle. You can call this top status, you can call this bottom status, and so on and so forth. So let's quickly run to our login screen. Excuse me. So we have logo at the top. I would not even stress myself. This is what I like doing so much. So I'm just going to, somehow I'm doing a control C. So let's do a right click. I'm doing a copy, and then I am pasting here. Paste here. Beautiful. Paste it here. Now, what I will just do now is maybe just reduce the logo, reduce the text logo, reduce it to maybe let's say I'll reduce it to 16, or let's say I'll reduce it to a 12. Okay, and then let's say I want to reduce this our ellipse. Let's say I'm reducing it to our width. Let me reduce it to a, let me try 64. 64 by 64 should work. All right. Oh, that's sweet. Now let's centralize this, and let's check the distance at the top, make it 16. Beautiful. So we have logo now at the top. Now the next thing we are looking for is like a welcome little babes. So let's get our text, and then you can either write the welcome there, or you can still use lorem ipsum, yeah. But I mean, let's just write welcome little Esther. Yep. And then let's say we'll make this let's give this. Now I don't know if they taught us in the design system how to create a design system for style guide. So if you have like a typography style guide, it would be easier for you to get your text, instead of just manually doing it like mine. So you would, if you have created your style guide, you just be picking your text from there, and then you'll be using it to work. So let's say this place is going to be really bold, or let's say, yes, let's make welcome really bold. So change this to bold, and then let's say little Esther would just be like light. Okay, so welcome little baby Esther. Okay, so I want it to also stay in, yes, within my space, and then a distance of 8. Perfect. So welcome little baby Esther. Okay, now let's move to the next one. The next thing we want to see is your email, your password. All right, beautiful. Now how do I achieve that? I don't know if they've taught us components, but if we get to the part where we are going to learn components, whoa, if we get to the part where we are going to learn components, we would be able to see how to create components with inputs and the likes. But since we've not gotten there, we will just continue. So let's say that. So hold on, let me just get my rectangle. Okay, no, instead of getting a rectangle, I'm just going to get my text, and I'm going to write email. Yeah, so this is email here. Next thing I want to do is I want to bring in like an icon, or instead of this, well, let's see. I want to bring in an icon. To bring in an icon, I'll use my plugin. So let me get my plugin again to work for us. And this time around, I am looking for a plugin called Iconify. What Iconify will do is that it will give you different icons that you probably need for one thing or the other. So I'm looking for email there. So let's just look for email. Can you see different email icons that just came out? So let's use this. Let's import it as an icon, and I'm hoping that it is there. So it has imported the icon already. Close this, and then you can bring the email, icon into this circle. Now you have your email. Let's change this email to like a 16. Okay, perfect. And then as we have the two of them now, just put the two of them together and then auto layout. Yeah. So add auto layout. Now what you want to do with this is you want to give the auto layout a padding. Your padding is here. Now what your padding does is it gives it space. You know, you talked about giving space to your work. So you want to give it good padding even before you get to the icon of email. So you want to give it padding. I would always start by giving it a padding of 8. But if I discover that 8 is too small, I always increase it to 16. Then the padding between the spacing between the email and the what do you have now there? Maybe what do you call that, the email and the icon itself, let's try giving it an 8 as well. And then you can drag this out to wherever you want it to be. Also you can make the height like so instead of the height being 24, I probably would increase the height to a 40 on the dot. Yep. Centralize it. Perfect. Now it's at the center, and then you can give it a stroke and corner radius. So my corner radius will just be 4. All right, that's perfect. And now you can just decide that, in fact, let's even say that this is moving from, we are no more doing this is finer than lo-fi as I'm seeing it. So you probably want to use maybe, instead of email, you can say placeholder. So they will just know that it is email that will be there. But so let's put email. Now let's say, or you can say placeholder. Let's use placeholder. And then let's say this would now be also placeholder. And then, okay, hold on, placeholder. Let's even say that you want to like get let's say you don't want to use, so now I'm thinking you may not want to bring in the icon itself. You may want to just use like a shape to exemplify where the icon will be. So I'm thinking of using an ellipse, and then we are making that ellipse, constrain the proportion, make it 24. Yes, beautiful. So let me bring it in. Perfect. Take it to the right, and then let's delete this. So you can either do this as well. You can either leave it like this, and then you can continue with your work. So when anybody sees this, they know that, okay, this place, an icon will be here, and then there's a placeholder here. And then you can also decide that, oh, let me bring in the icon that would represent all the icons as well. However, best it works for you. Now let's move. So we have password, then you have a place for forgot password. So you can decide to say, okay, from here you want to maybe write forgot password. So you can either type, yeah, as I said earlier, or you can just put like a line. So because we already started with typing, I'll just continue typing. So you notice that because we started typing, I'll just continue typing. Yes, so this is forgot password. And of course, forgot password will be smaller than every other one. So let's see. Reduce forgot password to maybe a 12. All right, beautiful. And then let it stick to this part. Yes, perfect. I want to see if I can give a breather to our design here. So let it be 16. Yes, beautiful. All right, so next thing you want to do is you want to probably give it a, okay, we have a remember me, a button, and a remember me, a check button. So let's change this to rectangle, bring it here. I would normally use a 24 by 24 for this. So my width at 24, my height at 24. Enter. Give it a corner radius of maybe 4. Yes, and then write remember me. Duplicate forgot password, bring it here, and then write remember me, oh Lord. Oh Lord, remember me later. I always play when I'm designing, because it helps me clear my head. So you can join the bandwagon of playful designers. So of course, I want to put this in an auto layout so that we would always, it would move together. Distance between remember me and forgot password should also be divisible by 8. So that works for me. Now look at what we've been able to do here. The next thing we are looking for is what? Our button, if I'm right. Yes. So we have our button, and then we now have that fingerprint spirit. So let's bring in our button. And because I have a button here, what do you think I will do? Duplicate and drag. As in, it makes it so simple. It makes it so sweet. Let me see you guys. I know I've been designing like, okay, somebody said that I've not added a question mark to the password. You guys are great. Forgot password, because they said it's a question. So let's see. Take it back. I don't want this thing to scatter. Aha, this is good. So we have our button here, and then where else are we going to? We are looking at creating the fingerprint section. Now, this is me. Oh, you know that I told you people that I like to copy and paste a lot. Because what is live without copying and pasting when you already did it by yourself? This live. So I'm copying my placeholder. I'm pasting my place. I want to do something. Watch this. I've copied my placeholder. You saw when I copied this placeholder, right? So this is me. Copy. Yeah. Now I want to do something magic. Yeah. Instead of just deleting this button, I want to copy to replace. So paste to replace here. Look at it. Paste to replace. Click it, and then my placeholder just appears in the stead of that particular what do they call it? That particular whatever they call it button. Now I'm going to just bring in this circle, or let me just bring in another circle. Let me just bring in a different ellipse. So let's bring in an ellipse. Let's draw the ellipse here. Let's make it in form of like an oval shape kind of thing, and then let's make sure that the height is not too much. So let's give it a 40, and let's reduce the width to like a 32, so that to give it like vibes of thumbprint. Yeah. And then what else again are we looking for? Let's say, okay, so if you don't have an account, sign up. So instead of this, delete this guy here, duplicate this, bring it down, and then say if you don't have an account. If you don't have an account, sign up. All right. So if you don't have an account, sign up. This sign up can be bold. Okay. And then let's see, we can reduce this. It's not always as heavy as others. So let's just write fingerprint here. Yes. And then let's give this like, let's put this, let me see, I want to do something. Put these two in an auto layout. Select the two, add auto layout, and then space this to, so that this, if you don't have an account, so that it can really come down. You guys are feeling what I'm doing. You guys understand what I'm trying to do. All right, so this is what we have. This is our login screen. Oh, look at it. Oh, can you see it? Oh God. Oh God, I beg. I'm already loving this. So I feel like just changing now to high fidelity. I don't even know about you guys. I'm not inside this class again. I'm just designing on my own. I no longer know little babes. Now let's do sign up. Quickly, sign up. Yeah, look at sign up. Now, instead of welcome Lita Esther, we don't know Lita Esther because Lita Esther has not signed up with us. So we have sign up here. So we have something like, instead of this, we have sign up. Let's say sign up today. Sign up today. Sign up today. Now let's see if we can put it in the middle. Okay, yeah, that's that. So we don't need forgot password, we don't need remember me. So what we need now, I'm putting these two in an auto layout. So put add auto layout, and then you have placeholder for like email. Then I think you would need something for like a full name. So let's just use this one instead. Let me delete, we'll be deleting it small small. So we'll just say full name. Now because this is a liter something, Abby, so this is liter package. That was what I was thinking of. This is me when I was doing the ideation, when I was thinking of how our design would look like. We have email, we have name. You have to show like the course you are actually doing with liter, you understand? So full name, email. So we have email, then the course you are taking with us at liter. Delete this man. The course we don't need fingerprints right now, so delete this as well. So let's say email, the course you are taking, course. I don't know the English we use for that one. Okay, but I just wrote course. Then if you have a student ID, we might want to know your student ID so that Bamidele that is not a student of liter will not now come and say he's a student of liter. So please give us a student ID. And then after that, I was thinking again, you kind of need to create a password. And when you are done creating your password, then we can now, give you your, so let's do password. So immediately you've given us all of this info.com, you can now say sign up. So let's do sign up here. All right. Now, if there's something, we always have privacy terms and conditions. So let's copy this. Sorry, I know my screen is now small. Sorry, I like to design in a very haphazard way, and I'm trying to get into that spirit now. Somebody say we bind it. All right, so let's paste here. And I like shortcuts a lot. God, this is not my way of designing, looking for the real word. So I'm putting this here, 16. And then instead of remember me, you say I by clicking here, by clicking the button, comma, I agree to the terms and conditions, blah 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 and blah. Yeah, that's that. So let me check it. Beautiful, beautiful. Why is it looking like this? I think I don't need it to look like this. I need it to look like this. Yes, beautiful. And I need it to start from the top. Yes, perfect. So this is good. And then we now say, I agree to the terms and conditions. Terms will be bold. Conditions will be bold. Okay. So after doing that, in fact, this is also going to be small. Okay, 12 is good. Now we now say, if you have an account, instead of if you don't have an account, this one now, if you have an account, you are going to log in. That's what will be here. If you have an account, so instead of sign up, we will say log, not log up, log in. And then this would be at the center of it all, at the center of it all. And there we go. 48. That's it. So we've been able to, so we've been able to create the sign up, we've been able to create the login, we've been able to create the onboarding screen, we've been able to create the splash screen. It will surprise you that all these screens, if you are going to really get into the high fidelity, it's going to be like maybe 10-15 screens that you would have created in the high fidelity, because of course, look at this. This is 5. So this is 5. Your login may be 2. So you have 2 for your splash, sorry, 2 for your splash screen, then maybe 5 for your onboarding. That's 7 already. Then maybe your login, you are going to do the one for empty and the one for fill. That's 9 already. And then maybe for this one as well, you're going to do the one for empty, the one for fill. That's 11 already. So I mean, and you've just done your low fidelity to this point. Now you can now say you want to go to the, the home page, and that's another part of your design where you have your profile, where you have a notification, where you have the amount, your total balance, the eye opening, and so on and so forth. So if you're able to design this in the lo-fi, I mean, we are very, very good to go with our design today. Let me see you guys. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Okay. Yes, so princess, if someone does not click on that terms and conditions, the person will not be able to sign up. So that's why it's very, very important. I'm seeing you guys comment, and I really feel like laughing. Yeah. Okay, you guys were even helping me out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh wow. Don't have an account, sign up. Yes, don't have an account, sign up. Then if you have an account, you see me, I'm even trying to like simplify my grammar, but I mean, this is also beautiful. Okay. So let's try yours. Let's try yours. Have an account, login. Have an account. I think it's a comma. Then don't have an account. Let's see, what am I even saying first? This is for sign up. Yeah, okay, I'm still correct. Then this is don't have an account, sign up. Have an account, login. Yes, that's it. All right, so let's delete everything we have here. Let's delete everything. And then let's have like our home screen. With the time we have, I hope we'll be able to finish this up. So let's see. I have my profile, my welcome, little baby Esther, and then my notification. Let me see how I can quickly create that at the top. So profile is just going to be an ellipse, and my ellipse, I'm thinking I should just use a 40 by 40. So constraint proportion, and then I'm using a 40 by 40 so that it will not be too big, because if it is very big, it is a wahala. All right, good. Now, this same thing, I'll just duplicate it and then give it to like the bell place. You understand? So it's going to be like, this is the bell button, So we will know how to write all of that later. So this would be the profile, this would be the bell. You understand? I'm even thinking of something. As we are doing it like this, let me try something very, very funky. Let me bring in an icon. Let me bring in an icon. Let's bring in an icon so that we will not even just stress ourselves. You understand? So let's bring in a user icon. Yes, something. Oh, sweet. Now let's import the icon. Hey, God, I beg you. I don't like this. So hold on. I saw what came in. I don't like it. So let me quickly delete it. Let's pick something and choose 24. I don't want it to come in form of that big. Yes. So this is what I want. Let's put it here. Yes, good. Now, hold on. I want to try magic. Somebody asked a question then and said, is it possible for you to have brought in an ellipse, write a content on top of it, and then try to use your auto layout on it? It is absolutely possible, and that's what I want to show you guys right now. So this is my icon on top of this, right? And I want to use my auto layout to kind of, fix everything together. So what I do is I would select the two of them, highlight both of them together, and then add auto layout, and voila. What do you think? together forever. 1 plus 1 is 1. That's that. So of course, Control C, and then I've replaced it here, but this time around, I want to change this particular one to our notification bell so that we are not always writing stuff, you understand? So let's see, I'll run to Iconify, and then I'll choose notification. If anybody uses me to laugh after now that I was saying notification, I will appear to you. So let's pick this fine bell. 24, yeah? All right, great. Okay, so what I will just do is I will bring it into this place and I'll just delete this, and that's that. We are good to go. You see it? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Sorry, I joke it. I said it before. I like to play. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Now put this here, bring it here, bring this sign up here, and then say welcome hairstyle. Let's do hairstyle. All right, great. Welcome hairstyle. Now I'm going to reduce this to a 18. 18 is good for me. And then instead of bold, I'm going to make it like medium so that it's not too into our faces. 8, perfect. All right, this is good. Now, next thing we are, hey, oh my God, time. Balance. Balance is, why will I have 0 naira 0 kobo? God forbid. So my balance, my balance, duplicate this and bring it here because I need my balance to be balancing. Now let's give my balance the amount that we want. Naira's got nothing on us. We have 1. Mm-hmm. 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 Nobody should come for me. All right, good. Now that's what we want. So next thing is total balance and then my eyes. So let's increase this because we want the world to view what the Lord has done for us. You understand? In this is supposed to be very emphasized because the Lord has done it finally. Finally, oh. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so we have on, okay, this is a good amount. Now I'll just duplicate this again and then total balance, right? Total balance, but this time around total balance should be very like, should be minimal. We don't need to even see it. We don't need to see that you are here with us. We just need to feel your presence. So I can even like reduce the dark color there, just give it a kind of faded, yes, perfect. And then we can now bring like the eyes, that eye that says open and close. So let's look for the eye of the righteous. So look for the eye, and then I like this one because it's showing like, let's use this. So 24, import icon, and just put it directly under the last 0, but this time around reduce from 24 by 24 to, let's make it a 20 by 20. All right, great. So in our mind, like, we just know that the moment we close these eyes, the money there closes as well. But of course we want the world to behold what the Lord has done in our lives. That's why we are giving it such an amazing color. All right, great. Nobody should come for me. Oh. Shift A. All right, centralize this and we are good to go so that it is aligned. Yes, that's nice. Okay, Joy just asked me a question. She says that, how am I able to go through all the screens? Like, how are they placed side by side? So the moment I just duplicate, Control D, it comes to the side. The moment I just Control D one screen, it comes to the side, okay? Okay, how do we get a real Naira design? I always get a real Naira design. Oh. Sometimes you can even check like you can check like your you can check like what's the word? I'm looking for the word. You can look for icons or see let me just tell you what I do. Naira sign. Naira sign. And then I see this staring at me. I copy it as the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus, and I paste it here as a daughter of Zion that I am. What do you think? What do you think? That's good, right? Okay, makes sense. So that's the way I can get my real Naira sign. Okay, so that's that. Let's see. One, okay, this makes much sense. But don't allow policemen to ask you to open your Lita account. You understand? If not, they will catch you. And if they catch you, I'm not there. So now let's see. You can create budget, save money. Okay, so these are just icon buttons. So that's we can of course we can do something with that. Let's bring this in. Let me see. Let me see. Yes, we can still work with this. So just bring this here. Instead of this, we are just going to have like a plus. Okay, hold on, give me a minute. So I'm just going to look for like a plus instead of having, okay, yeah, perfect. Iconify again, get my plus sign, plus. And then let's look for something that is curved, something that is sweet. Bring it in, delete this, I'm looking for what to increase now. Um, 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 um. Take this to 16. Take the padding. I'm changing the padding. That's what I'm changing to 16. Okay. It's not moving. I think it's fixed. That's why. So hug content. Thank you. And then hug content. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was looking for. So that to give us this I wanted the opaque kind of vibes. So from here now we have, so I'll start putting the text underneath it. So duplicate this guy, just drag it and put it here. So what do we have here? We have create budget, save money, transfer, and pay bills. Create money, create budget, save money. I probably remember that. Create budgets. Create budget. Create budget. Let's do this. Perfect. Just stay here. The two of them in auto layout. Perfect. Now duplicate it, bring it here. Create budget. This one turns to save money. Yeah, beautiful. Now what I want to do is I want to put both of them in auto layout. Nice, because I'm going to do something at the end of the day. Let's say the distance between them, let's just do 24 for now, and then duplicate again. See, now I don't have to stress myself. Create budget, save money. What's here? Transfer, pay bills. So transfer, just come here, change this to transfer, and a transfer, and then we have duplicate. We now say pay bills. All right, great. So just centralize this and you are fine. Yep, that's good. Let's give a good distance between these guys. Let's give a good distance. And you can see that it's not aligned, right? So just align everything to the top. Just align everything to the top. Yeah, that's it. So what do we think? What do we think? We are heading to somewhere. We are going somewhere. Hallelujah. Now let's move. This is still low fidelity that we are doing. Imagine if it is high fidelity. So we are bringing like an announcement kind of thing here. Earn 15% interest when you save your money. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. Duplicate this, bring it here, like an announcement, same announcement that is on OPay. So let's see, earn 15% interest when you save money with us. Okay, that's good. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to get like an ellipse, just something small to depict the icon that will be there. Let's make it 16. Put it here. Bring this to this point. Put both of them in auto layout. And let's do something like a, let me check it out, 24 by 24. Okay, give it a good padding so that there will be space there. So padding of 8 would work, yes. Also padding of 8 at the top would work. And then kind of give it a fill color that would change to just a very small, exactly. Okay, now give it a corner radius of, let's say, 8. Perfect. So you can take this up. So say earn 15% interest when you save money with us. And then what else again do we have in that place? Then we now have like our, our icon buttons, home, interest, wallet, and more. And then you can create all of that with just small boxes like this. So what I would have just done is I'll duplicate this because they are, I'll duplicate this because they are 4, and then I can, work the same thing out with them. So let me do this. Hold on. In fact, align to this point. Give it a padding of 24. Okay, perfect. And then drag to this side. Now, instead of just, using this format, I want to, hold on. Yes, I want to, no, this is not what I'm looking for. Let's see. I'm looking for something. Wow. Okay, I think this is it. So I want to use auto. Yeah. So this is where I'm coming to use auto so that it can be spaced. Now, instead of just the icons, I can decide to change the icons from plus, but of course, I'll just change this to home. I'll change this to, I think it's wallet or interest. Okay. Interest, wallet, and more. Home, interest, wallet, and then more. And there you have it. So instead of this plus here, let's try to change the icon to something different. So go to, we have few minutes more and I'm closing. After now, I'll just end it. Yeah. So let's look for something like home. And then we'll just use home for everything. Yeah, let's look for a beautiful curvy home. Find home, something like this. Import icon, yes please. Close. All right, so just delete the plus. All right, beautiful. Control C. So you want to replace this here, you want to replace this here, and you want to replace this here. Now, see what we've been able to do with low fidelity today. We've been able to create your splash screen, your onboarding screen, your login screen, your sign up screen, and your home screen from what we have here. Can you see this? So this is exactly what we've just replicated. Now, do we have any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? I'm seeing you guys. You guys are not asking questions. Do we have any questions like in the next 7 minutes? Any questions from what we've learned so far? Oh, I see somebody. FCBA even claimed 7 billion. Don't let's shout it out. Oh, yeah. This is even yours is 700 million with the way I'm counting it. Oh, FCBA your own is 700 million. Mine is more. So, do we have any questions? For the people who feel lost, please go and rewatch the video. Just make it slower so that you can get those concepts more. You get. All right, so the difference between low fidelity and high fidelity is that one is just a skeletal mode of how your design would look like, and then another is like the full colored, beautiful, aesthetically pleasing design, which I'm thinking we will try that out tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow we'll just kind of add some colors, bring in some images, and the others. We'll just bring that in. So auto layer, as I said earlier, is to automatically lay out your work. If we had not used auto layouts, if we had not used auto layouts in all of these designs, it would be harder for us to, we'll start manually, we'll start aligning it manually. We'll start looking for a way to align manually. We'll start looking for a way to check the distance manually. But then with auto layout, it automatically organizes your design. It automatically lays them out the way it's supposed to lay them out, and then it's just seamless. It's just easy. You don't have to go through the heavy stress of trying to make sure that things are working perfectly, because auto layout has already helped you to make them perfectly aligned. So that's that. Oh, I mean Friday, not tomorrow. So I used to teach design every day sometimes. So sometimes I say tomorrow. I'm sorry, Friday. Friday we meet. Chara, you said you don't have a laptop now. I really hope and pray that you quickly get a laptop, so that what you have learned will not just disappear, and then when you are now trying it out, it now becomes harder than when you are supposed to like follow just immediately after this class. I would advise that immediately after this class, don't go to bed though. Immediately after this class, don't go to bed. Just start the video again while your brain is still like, while your spirit is still in this design. Just start up again, start the video again. If you got some things, forward those places to the places where you didn't get, then try to practice it until you have gotten to this place, and you can really say, oh, I designed 5 screens today. You understand? You can replay this video the moment it is ended. I think you can still go back and replay it now. So you can replay the video. I believe you can do that. Just take it to the back, and then you probably will start watching again from now. By any type of grid, are you saying you want to add column grid, or are you saying you just want to use 12 count space 12 count grid, or what kind of grid are you looking at? But whatever grid you are looking at, allow your margin to be there so that you can stay aligned to where you want your design to start and where you want your design to end. You understand? So I really don't use shapes when I'm designing, since I have auto layout as my paddy. I really don't use shapes when I'm designing. I just use auto layouts, and it makes my work come out beautiful. I rarely use shapes in my design. Rarely. Rarely would you see me using shapes in my design. If you see me using shapes in my design, that's just like once in a while. Yeah. Please work on your personal design. Work on a personal design. So I just picked Litafa. I picked Litafa because that's the storyline I came up with. So I picked Litafa. So you can work on something that you have. I believe that you must have like an assignment that you've been given at some point in time to design something. So you can still pick that up and then you can continually use that to design. If you are looking at the grid I used, go back to the beginning of this video and then you would see the grid I used. Your assignment would be I don't know the assignment that designer Folashade gave us at the beginning of this course. You see that assignment, that one where you did your research and you asked people questions. I want to see a sketch of that design or a sketch of that solution and a low fidelity design of that solution. A sketch of the solution and a low fidelity um design of that solution. A sketch of that solution. The problem designer Folashade told us to solve at the beginning of this course. That's my assignment oh. Get the sketch the um and the low fidelity of that thing you were trying to solve. Get the sketch it out, and then I want to see the lo-fi. So sketch and lo-fi, I want to see that. This would be submitted, I think 1 week from now should be good. 1 week from now should be good. So this one, you have to go and refresh your brain. I think the one where you had to submit, I think the one where you had to like carry out a questionnaire and then you had to like do maybe information architecture, or you had to like, create something. That's that question. Yes, that one that you were given at the beginning when you were doing research. Yes, that one you were doing research. I would ask designer Folashade for that. I would ask designer Folashade for our assignment, the one she gave you, and then I would know how to remind us of the assignments. Oh, somebody is even reminding me. I think it's e-commerce, yeah? Yes, the e-commerce assignment. Yes, that's it. That's it. That's it. So please go back to the video, rewatch that designer Folashade's video. I think it's actually a very good one. If you are just joining us, go back there, rewatch it, and then yes, you can turn it. Yeah, of course you can. The same thing we've done for mobile. You can put the same principle to a website. So we just did for mobile. Maybe we would even do a bit of website tomorrow. So we just did for mobile today. You can, of course, do the same or put the same principles for a website. So you are still doing the same assignment. Yes, please. Thank you so much and have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for Friday, please. Yes, please. If I say tomorrow, just say Friday. Just know that your next class is on Friday. Thank you very much and have a lovely day. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Bye.